Good morning, all of you. Class 10th, good morning.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
Good
morning,
morning,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Alright. Okay, so today we will continue with the civics chapter, political parties, and we have already done that what political parties are, what are the functions that they perform, why we need them. Then we also had a look at how many parties should a society or a country have, and we had a look at one party system, two party system, and a multi party system. Now, today we will continue and have a look at the national political parties that we have in our country and what are national political parties. So, we'll have a look at that. Now, democracies that follow a federal system of government. What is a federal system of government?
Ma'am, power is divided between the central government and the state governments.
Alright, so power is divided between the central and its subsequent units, and it could be one more level or two more levels. And so, democracies that follow a federal system, now they normally have two types of political parties that are present in their country, and like some that are present in only one or two of the federal units, and there might be some which are present in several or all of the units of the federation. Now this is the case of India also, and now there are some countrywide parties which are called as national parties, and now these parties have their units or their centers in many states, and by and large all the units, they follow the same policies, the programs, and the same strategy that is decided at the national level. All right, so now these national parties, they have their units in various states, and mostly all of these units, they follow the same policies, programs, and strategy. uh, Someone posed message Kushagar, why has he joined and then again he left, and there were few others also. This is not some game going on. All right. Now, every party in the country, they have to register with the election commission, and now though the election commission, they treat all the parties equally, but some special facilities are given to the national or the large and the established parties, and these parties are given a unique symbol, and only the official candidates of these parties, they are allowed to use that election symbol, and parties which get this special privilege and facilities, they are recognized by the election commission for this purpose, and that is why they are also called as the recognized political parties. Now, the election commission, they have also laid down a detailed criteria as to the proportion of votes and proportion of seats that a party must get in order to be called as a recognized party. So, a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes polled in an election to the legislative assembly of a state, and they also win at least two seats. Now, that party is recognized as a state party, and state party or a regional party, you could say, and a party that secures at least 6% of the total votes in Lok Sabha elections or assembly elections in at least 4 states and wins at least 4 seats in the Lok Sabha, that is recognized as a national party. So the election commission has laid down a criteria as to which parties would be recognized as the state parties and which parties could be recognized as the national parties. Now, according to this classification, there were 6 national recognized parties in the country, and now little bit about them is given here. We can go through them. First is the Indian National Congress. Now it is also known as the Congress Party and one of the oldest party. It was founded in 1885 and it has experienced many splits after that. If you remember, during the early years the Congress was led by the moderates, and then we have the radicals or the extremists, and then later on we have the pro changers and the no changers, and people, they had different views in the Congress itself. So the Congress had suffered and experienced many splits, and it had played a very important role in Indian politics at the national as well as at the state level for several decades after India's independence. And under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru, the party, they have tried to build a modern secular democratic republic in India, and they were the ruling party at the center till 1977, and then from 1980 to 1989. After 1989, the support to the party, it declined, but still it continues to be present throughout the country, and it cuts across social divisions. It is a centrist party, means neither leftist nor rightist nor leftist. Okay, so the left parties, they believe in social equality, whereas the right wing parties, they believe in social hierarchy. So you know, now most of the parties, they do not believe in social hierarchy, they believe in social equality. And so the Congress is the centrist party. It does not it is in the middle. Centrist did not take part in, means it is somewhere in the middle. And then so in its ideological orientation, it is a centrist party, and they support secularism and welfare of the weaker section and minorities. Then they support new economic reforms, but these economic reforms should be humane in nature. All right. And then it emerged as the largest party with 145 members in the Lok Sabha elections held in 2004. And at present, you know, it is the opposition party at the center. Then we have the Bharatiya Janata Party or the BJP. Now it was founded in 1980 by the by that time Bharatiya Jana Sangh, and so it was the revised version of the Bharatiya Jana Sangh, and it wants to bring a strong and modern India by taking inspiration from India's ancient culture and values. And so cultural nationalism or Hindutva is an important element in the way they conceive politics and Indian nationhood, and they want a full territorial as well as political integration of Jammu and Kashmir with the rest of India. And they want a civil uniform code for all people living in the country, irrespective of religion. They stand for a ban on all religious conversions, and its support base, it has increased in 1990s and afterwards. And earlier it was limited to northwest and to urban areas. The party now, they have expanded their support in the south, east and the northeast, and to the rural areas also. It came to power in 1998 as the leader of the National Democratic Alliance, including several state and regional parties. And though they lost elections in 2004, but now they are the ruling party at the center. Okay, then we have the Bahujan Samaj Party. Someone read about it. Who will read? Maz, are you there? Maz, are you there or not? Okay, Yashasvi.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Maz, read about the Bahujan Samaj Party. Hurry up, don't waste time.
Ma'am, 1 second, ma'am.
You are without your book, that means, right? Yashasvi?
No, ma'am, I'm having book.
Then? You don't know which page we are on?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me, you read about the next one. He's taking a lot of time. Come on, Maz.
Bahujan Bahujan Samaj Party, formed in 1984 under the leadership of Kanshiram, seeks to represent and secure power for the Bahujan Samaj, which includes the Dalits, Adivasis, OBCs, and religious minorities.
All right. So the Bahujan
Draw.
Samaj Party. Okay. Wait, Yashasvi. The Bahujan Samaj Party formed in 1984, leaded under the leadership of Kashiram, and they support the Dalits, the Adivasis, OBCs, and the minorities, the religious minorities. Yes. Continue.
Draws inspiration from the ideas and teachings of Sahu Maharaj, Mahatma
Phule.
Phule, Periyar Ramaswamy,
Naikar.
Naipur, and Baba Saheb Ambedkar.
Hmm.
Stand for the cause of securing the interest and welfare of the Dalits and the oppressed people.
All right. So
It has its
they work for the interest and for the welfare of the oppressed and the Dalits. Main base in Uttar Pradesh, and then also has some presence in neighboring states like Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Uttarakhand, Delhi, and Punjab. Then the Bahujan Samaj Party has formed government in Uttar Pradesh several times, and this they did by taking the support of different parties at different times. All right. Then in the Lok Sabha elections held in 2004, it polled about 5% votes and secured 19% seats in the Lok Sabha. Do your books have anything more than that, or that is all that you have also?
that is all.
All right. Okay. Then the Communist Party of India, Marxist. Yes, read. Yashasvi, go on.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, Communist Party of Bharatiya Janata Party.
Communist Party of
having
India, Marxist. CPIM.
formed, yes, ma'am. Founded in 1964, believes in Marxism, Leninism, supports socialism, secularism, and opposes imperialism and communalism, accepts democratic elections as a useful and helpful means for securing the objective of socio-economic justice in India.
All right. Wait.
Enjoy.
Okay, wait. So they support socialism. What is socialism? Come on, class 10. Socialism. What is socialism? What is secularism? Anyone knows here? What is socialism or secularism?
Ma'am, secularism means the freedom of following any religion.
Okay. All right. What about socialism? Anyone here?
Ma'am, that the community should be treated equal as a whole.
All right. Okay. So, secularism, no state religion, all religions to be treated equally. Socialism, the means of production should be they should be in the hands of the society or as a community, and then the benefits also should be distributed equally among the people, so that there is not only social but also economic equality in the society. So they support socialism, secularism, and democracy, and they are against imperialism, means the spread of a country's power over others through wars or through colonialism. And they are also against communalism, so they are secular, so obviously against the domination of any one religion. Then they accept that democratic elections, there are it is a very important and a useful means for securing the objective of social economic justice in India. Yes, continue.
Yes, ma'am. Enjoys strong support in West Bengal, Kerala, and Tripura, especially among the poor factory workers, farmers, agricultural laborers, and intelligentsia. Critical and the new economic policies that allow free flow of foreign capital and goods into the country was in power in West Bengal without a break for 34 years.
Okay.
In the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, it won about 3% of votes and 9 seats.
All right. Okay. Then we have the Communist Party of India, the CPI. It was formed in 1926. They also believe in Marxism, Leninism, and secularism and democracy, and they are opposed to the forces of successionism, and communalism. Means they are also against this so, monarchical system and social hierarchical system, and they accept that parliamentary democracy is a good way to promote the interest of the working classes, farmers, and the poor. And it became weak after the split in the party in 1964, and that led to the formation of the CPIM. and it has its presence in the states of Kerala, West Bengal, Punjab, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu, and its supposed base has gradually declined over the years, and it secured about 1.4% votes and 10 seats in the 2004 Lok Sabha elections. And then we have the National Congress Party, the NCP. Now it became a party after a split in the Congress Party in 1999, and it also supports democracy, and because it is a part of Congress Party, so it supports democracy and secularism based on Gandhian principles, equality, social justice and federalism. And they also want that the high offices in the government, they should be held by the natural born citizens of India and not those citizens which have acquired Indian citizenship. And on that point only they had a split from the Congress Party, and it is a major party in Maharashtra and also had a significant presence in Meghalaya, Manipur and Assam, and it was a coalition partner in the state of Maharashtra in alliance with the Congress. Then it also was a member of the United Progressive Alliance. Okay, so these are the 6 main national parties that we have in India, and the rest are the state parties. So other than these 6 parties, most of the major parties of the country are classified by the Election Commission as the state parties, and they are also commonly known as the regional parties. Now though they may be called as regional party, but they can not be regional in their ideology or in their outlook. And so some of these parties, though they happen to have succeeded only few parts or in few states, but their ideology is India based, like Samajwadi Party, Samta Party, the Rashtriya Janata Dal, and so they also have their national level political organizations and they have national level ideology. But some of the parties like the Biju Janata Dal, the Sikkim Democratic Front and Mizo National Front, they are conscious only about their state identity, and so they can be called as regional parties in the real sense. But over the last 3 decades, that is 30 years or so, the number and strength of these parties, it has expanded, and now this has made the parliament more democratic, more diverse and more you could say supportive of the fundamental issues, principles of Indian Federation. And now no one national party, now leaving these two elections, Lok Sabha elections, before that no one national party was able to secure on its own a majority in the Lok Sabha, and so as a result the national parties they were compelled to take support to form alliances from these state parties. And so since 1996 nearly every one of the state parties, they have got an opportunity to be part of one or the other national government, national level coalition government, and this has contributed to the strengthening of federalism and also democracy in our country. Okay, now so this is about the national parties and the state parties. Now uh, when we started the chapter, we saw that the political parties, they are the most visible face of democracy, and so it is natural that people blame it for everything that goes wrong in the country, or that goes wrong with the democracy. And all over the world, it is not only in India but all over the world also, now the people, they express a strong dissatisfaction with the failure of the political parties and their failure to perform their functions well. And in our country this case is the same, and so dissatisfaction and criticism of the people, they have focused on 4 problem areas in the working of political parties. And so as a result, the political parties, they need to face and overcome these challenges in order to become effective instruments of democracy. Okay, till here have you all understood? Is there anything that you have not understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, the rest of the class, have you all understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So We don't have much. Okay, let's do the first challenge and then we'll end the today's class. Okay, the first challenge to the political parties is the challenge of lack of internal democracy within parties. Now, this is a tendency not only in India but all over the world, that in the political parties there's a concentration of power in one or few leaders at the top. So now normally this is not the case only of India but also many democracies in the world, that the power is held by one or few top leaders at the top, and the parties, they also do not have party membership registers, and they don't have proper organization meetings, and then internal elections are also not conducted regularly, and as a result the ordinary members, they of the party, they do not get to know what is happening in the party, and they don't have proper information as to what is happening, because the main information is only received by the top leaders, and the other members, they also do not have the means, they may not have the money, the power, and the proper connections which are needed to influence the decisions in a political party. And as a result, what happens, the leaders, they gain more and more power to take decisions in the name of the entire party, because the rest of the party members, they do not know what is happening in the party. So obviously the leaders, they acquire more and more power, and now since one or few leaders, they have all the power, now those who disagree with the party leadership, now they find it very difficult to stay in the party or to continue working in the party, and as a result loyalty to the leader, it becomes more important than loyalty to the party principles, because you have to make happy and flatter the party leader to stay in party and to have some say in the party, rather than being loyal to the party principles. All right, so we'll end the class here today, and we'll continue when we meet next week. Have you all understood? Any confusion, any question, any query?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
All
No,
right.
ma'am.
Thank
All
you, ma'am.
right. All right, my dear.